Welcome to our episode with Dejor Thomas. Dejor is a producer, singer, writer, creative, cool dude in general.
All around great guy.
All around real nice guy. And in this episode, we talked about his new EP, Oath. Check it out on Spotify.
Make a note to check it out.
Make it out. Yeah. And how he works with the artists, his writing process, creative process, his big move to LA, his production company, his super musical family. This guy, he's cool, man.
Cool dude.
Listen to the podcast. Oh, we're about to play Closed Hands with him and Sidney Franklin, and then we'll get right down to the details. And as always, all of the topics will be down in the description for you to jump around.
Cool.
Thanks, cool. Enjoy.
Shit.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Trip Trap Talk Show. This episode we have a special guest, Dejor Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing that right.
Dejor.
Dejor.
Yeah.
All right. So Dejor, you just released a new EP,
Yeah.
Oath. Very excited about that.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate the production on that. It sounded like that was definitely the main focal point.
Yeah.
That's what you are, right? You're a producer.
Right. I produced, of course, all of the songs and also wrote the majority of the songs also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into producing?
I come from a musical family, just growing up in church. Everybody played the instrument coming up. So I found piano, and I think one Christmas, my parents bought me one of those little Yamaha keyboards with the 5-track sequencer on it.
Yeah.
So I thought I was like Quincy Jones. So so that was my intro into making beats, and from there just graduated into different from that to maybe then I was using a 16-track sequencer. Then I was introduced to FL Studio. I'm sorry, I was introduced to FL Studio.
Yeah.
Then after that, Reason, and so it kind of just grew from playing the piano and everything else.
Would you say your family had a big part in your musical career?
Yeah, for sure. Just my upbringing, music was always around, and even seeing my dad make music, actually produce music in the house and things like that. It was very, very early memories of that, and that definitely stuck with me to this day.
What style of music were you mainly introduced to?
When I was coming up, it was mainly gospel. It was R&B, definitely a lot of New Jack Swing, Teddy Riley. Of course, Michael Jackson, of course, Quincy
Right.
Jones. It's strange because since I wanted to produce, I know a lot of music by the producer, not by the artist.
Right,
So
right.
I would know, okay, I know Timbaland produced on that album, but I only know the song that Timbaland did. I didn't really, I didn't care too much about the artist. I would just love reading the credits and seeing who did what and things like that. So it was a lot of gospel, R&B, some jazz in there. It was of course, pop music. That was, of course, hip hop. I remember seeing Missy Elliott, Can't Stand the Rain, that time period, and seeing my first CD that was ever given to me was the LL Cool J, the Definition CD, and I remember putting it in my Walkman or whatever, playing it, and the first song you hear is Head Sprung, and I just thought that was incredible at that time. So that was just kind of the things that I would hear growing up and things like that.
Okay. How do you think that's influenced your music?
Oh, greatly. I think I mean honestly, even still currently, I don't I may listen to it every once in a while, but the majority of things that I play in my car are mainly older songs.
Old head.
Yeah, well, not old, but I mean I play like a lot of the songs that influenced me early, you know, so that I feel like keeps me in a constant headspace to where like I'm able to create from a true place instead of what's going on around me.
You don't want to get corrupted by like what's
you know,
I
so
definitely feel that,
you know, so like I still like of course stay up to date with music and you know.
I mean, because you have to, right?
Yeah, exactly. But like the majority of what I listen to is definitely like the earlier things that like really influenced me.
Okay, no, sticking to your roots,
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any music right now that has influenced you that you're like, you were allowed to, I guess, bring into your sphere?
No, like I love James Blake. Like I'm a huge James Blake fan. I love Kendrick. I love Kendrick.
I mean, it's hard not to, man.
Yeah,
that guy's amazing.
Yeah, I love Kendrick. I love of current artists. It's a lot to name. I like Ariana Grande. I like what she does. I feel like she's like an artist that really stayed true to like the craftsmanship of singing that you haven't seen in a while. You know, like I feel like if you put her like in the 90s or in the 80s, she would still work. You know, because she's like that talented.
I mean, I feel like I've kind of brushed her off as a pop star. Like, and I mean, that happens with a lot of people where you just hear their radio hits.
She keeps her like image very carefully crafted. Like just about anything.
But I mean, if she dated like Mac Miller for a while, like she must be something, you know? Like
but I didn't even I even still I try not to get into like the like the tabloid stuff. I just
that's
like
a waste of mental energy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But,
I just really like her music and I really like her skill set. Like, I think she's like really skilled as an actual vocalist, you know.
So you separate the artist from like the
I feel like you have to in certain
from the tabloids, maybe not from
so like,
who they are.
Exactly. It's definitely in certain
headlines.
I think of course. Well, I know Kanye is an absolute musical genius. For sure.
Easily.
I think the most influential, most impactful artist of our time. As far as the Trump stuff, I think, but honestly, I think it's important to. I don't think we all have to agree. You know, if you say that oranges are the best fruit ever, you know, and I don't agree, like. I don't think that should change the way I treat you.
Also, it's mangoes. Those are the best fruit ever. Facts.
That's debatable.
Yeah, there's some better fruits. Mangoes are cool, but you know,
there's some other ones in that. But I don't think differences of opinion should change how you're treated, nor should it. I think what we as humans need to remember is that we're more alike than we are different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, since we have so many more similarities, I think that's important to focus on sometimes. Other than that, like, you know, even though you may not agree, but you know, it is what it is. I just gotta respect his decision.
What about with someone like X? You know, like he did some like I try to not judge artists too much based on what they do outside of music.
Right. Okay.
Because they're just people.
Yeah. I mean, because like I still love Kanye, even though he's a bit, you know. I'm glad he's getting out of politics now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But like with someone like X who did some pretty messed up stuff, like with his girlfriend.
Honest, I don't know much about X in general. To be honest, like I know like, you know, certain like the bigger songs, and I know like the overall story.
Yeah.
But I don't really know the details of his personal life.
I mean, just this one story I heard, he had this girl who was staying with him, I guess his girlfriend or something. And he basically just like
Reddit, so.
he basically just like kept her there and like wouldn't allow her to leave. I think she was pregnant and he had beat her a couple of times. That's where I draw the line. Like I understand his music's good, but I like refuse to listen to it. I mean, I guess now he's dead, so it doesn't really matter. But
and I think, you know, I have to respect your decision, you know, to do that. But yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even know if it's like true or not. All I saw was like just the details on Reddit, like I said.
I mean, that man had a history of violence, was constantly going to jail.
I mean, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I mean, I never was a big like X fan like that too. So I mean, separate the artist from his actions because they are just people. You can't just celebrate idols like that.
Right,
you know?
right. And I mean, honestly, artists are usually the most troubled.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, why do you think the music sounds so good?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like in some aspect, it's a very introspective craft, so it comes with a lot of things. Not excusing behaviors, but that's.
So there were a couple like voicemails on your project.
Right. Yeah.
So were those real voicemails or were those?
No.
Okay.
No.
Was it based on something real?
Yeah, exactly. So, just wanted to, cause I'm not that type of person to like put up like a screenshot or like, I just feel like that's like kind of weird, but, I wanted to keep a certain theme going, like the conversational part too. That interlude goes directly into the song "See You Hurt," and she says "See You Hurt" in the voicemail, and like kind of things like that. So,
so did you have a lady like that? It was.
So a lot of times when I write, I'll either write from a direct life experience, or I'll write from your life experience, or I'll write from like hypothetically if I was in that situation, what would I have done? So there is some truth in there, but there also is some like just painting a picture of what I would imagine certain situations could be like. But I do think it's a common situation that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Did you write everything on the EP and then?
So the first song, "Parade" with Andrea Giovinazzo, I co-wrote.
Like a parade.
Yeah. She's a really talented artist from Philly. So I went to Philly last year, but I've known her for years, and we worked on that. I wrote "True Feeling." I wrote "See You Hurt" completely. I kind of co-wrote "Facade" with Saba Abraha. She really is like always the main spearhead writer on all her songs. I wrote "Closed Hands" and I wrote "Good Grief." Yeah. So and this project was special for me because I wanted to like I wouldn't even really consider myself like a singer. Like I'm not trying to be like Bryson Tiller or anything, but I think it's important for creatives to know that one, you don't have to wait on a call for you to express your creativity.
Kind of taking that control.
Yeah, like you don't have to wait until like an artist says, "Hey, can you do this song?" Or like you can kind of have the freedom to do it. So and not only that, but you can also like just having confidence and believing in your idea. Just because usually I like the songs that I would write completely, there's a version of me singing the entire song just like that. So like "Closed Hands" I had to sing, like "See You Hurt" I had to sing. So I left the two songs with my voice on it just so I guess it would give a better picture of the process of like like this is how it sounds, and then the person sings over it. So it's cool that you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell. Like I think if you hear "Closed Hands," you wouldn't assume that I sang that before her. It sounds like a completely original song, which it is. Like she definitely sang it and made it her own. But
shout out to Sidney Franklin.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was kind of the reasoning behind the way the project is and all that kind of stuff.
So why'd you call it Oath?
It's kind of a double entendre for me. Like oath meaning, like this is who I'm pledging to be for the remainder of my career. I'm pledging to, provide, great music, writing and, like having like a totally like new style and those kind of things. And also as a person, it's like, like it's kind of, like the growing pain of like a boy to a man, you know,
Yeah.
like as far as like, you know, because we're all in the same age range where you got to be an adult, you know what I'm saying?
It's weird.
It's super weird. It's super weird. So, you know, I think it's important to, you know, find your stride and, you know, stay true to that and, you know, just keep that going. You know, like this is the time where we are who we will be.
Yeah.
You know,
Where you
hopefully.
define your actual personality for the rest of your life.
Exactly. So that's even why the artwork is how it is. It's just like the picture drawn by Derek Bacon. It's just like a timepiece. You know, like in 2018 at that time, this is what everything was and what it looked like, and you know, all of those kind of things.
Like a timestamp?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it's kind of cool, like being able to like look back at music.
Yeah.
And be like, that's what I was feeling then.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
This was me.
Yep.
And you can like I've noticed with a lot of like great artists, you can see how they've like progressed not only as musicians but as like people
Right.
as well.
Right. Yeah.
Like Kanye,
Absolutely.
Mac Miller.
Absolutely, and I think that's a part of your legacy. You know, like 100 years or 1,000 years from now, when we're all gone, those are the things that you want people to dig up, and you know, and what story does it tell about you? You know, at the end of the day, like when you look at Michael Jackson's discography, you know, him being gone almost 10 years now, it doesn't even feel like it because his music has been here, you know, all along, and it's still affecting people, you know, the same way as when it first came out. So yeah, that was kind of my goal with that.
So do you have any like long-term goals in your musical career?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely all of the producers that I really looked up to were really influential in presenting artists. So like, you know, with even with like Pharrell or Timbaland, with like, you know, Missy and that whole crew, and you know, so my goal is to not only, you know, produce for mainstream acts, but to also actually present artists. You know, I feel like that.
Like MCing?
Not MCing, just you know, being integral in the next and not just the current. You know,
Okay.
like
Going back to Kanye, like he does that. He's pretty famous for doing that, for like getting people up into like, the mainstream.
okay.
Yeah, you
like
know,
mogul.
And like
yeah, like so, like
showing
just,
them off.
well, yeah, so like imagine like Timbaland with Aaliyah, or imagine like Pharrell with the Clips, or imagine I mean, it's just so many like Amy Winehouse. You know, like I would rather be the person that introduces the next act than to be the one that just, you know, constantly does what's already existing. Both are cool, but for me, I would want to be integral and introduce the next act. That's why I definitely chose to work with artists that I believe are super talented and, you know, definitely deserve that bigger platform. Like, you know, the Sidney Franklins and the Mary McQuarium and Andrea and Saba, like they're all super talented, and I really hope that the project is also very important for them in their next steps, and you know, like having things to build upon, and you know, all those kind of things. Yeah, so that's the goal as far as music. I do want to eventually venture outside of music and do other things as far as being like a producer, like you know, maybe like producing films, producing
Really?
television. Yeah.
Okay.
For like the whole creative process, or just like the sound?
No, just like, you know, just producing, like doing what I do for music and doing that for television, doing that for film, events, you know, just all kind of different forms of producing. Like one of my passions is seeing something from the idea phase and seeing it come to fruition. I love that, because it's like, it's something that wasn't there before and now it's there.
The full creative process.
Yeah, you know,
It feels so good at the end.
yeah,
too.
it's amazing. It's yeah, like you're just so proud. You know, it's a really proud feeling. So yeah, those are things that I'm excited to eventually venture out into.
Okay. So I have a follow up. So you say that that you want to be like the next, I guess, presenter of the next big artist and stuff like that, right? So does that affect the way your creative process goes inside the studio with the artists? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Do you like tend to mold their sound? Do you tend to like take their input more? Like, how does that back and forth go?
Usually, like, I'm definitely a stickler. Like,
That's what I figured. Yeah.
yeah, like we have to keep doing it until it's right.
Yeah.
How long does that take sometimes?
It depends on the person.
Doesn't matter, Sean. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it depends on the person, and it depends on the song. Every song is different. Like it can be as short as an hour. It can be days and days.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely affects that. Also affects the overall sound of the music. Like I try not to be trendy, like purposely, like because I feel like
You want the music to have its own life, right?
yeah, exactly, and especially when you're working with indie artists, you don't
Definitely.
you have a different timeline than a major artist. Like for instance, if Nicki Minaj puts out a song today, a good majority of the world will know, right? If an indie artist puts out a song today, the majority of the world won't know. So you have to be prepared for your song to not blow up in the first 3 or 6 months, but maybe the next year or the year after that. So you kind of have to try to have foresight on the song enough to make sure that it's not too constricted to one time period.
It has to be kind of like timeless, or else it'll be
right.
it won't age well.
Exactly. So like I aim not necessarily for perfection, but just for expression. Just to like that's like
That's a good saying.
yeah, like
Put it on a little thing on your wall.
yeah, like majority of all the songs I do. So like I'll like make the beat, and then I'll get the artist, right, and we'll do the song, and then 9 times out of 10, once I have the song, then I'll do like many remixes. Like it's usually never sounds like the way it was at first when it comes out, and that's just because I feel like it's a difference between a good song and a great record, so I feel like a good song is just like like it's a good song, like lyrics and all melody, all those kind of things, but
Replayability too.
exactly. But like a great record is when there's elements that are like it's all one bigger, like all the elements are also expressing what this song is saying, also like
Cohesive.
exactly. Like when you think of like Latch by Sam Smith, like that song can come out at any time, and it'll be probably really enjoyable. Or like When Doves Cry or Purple Rain, it's just like it's more than a great song. At that point, it's been turned into like a great record, and that's why. And I think that's what separates the two. So that does. My goals do alter the way that I am in the creative process.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I figured the way you're talking earlier, I feel like you wouldn't want any time wasted, even if the artist thinks, oh, this sounds good. You as the person who's crafting it would know, like, this may sound good, but this would work better.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, because usually it's actually the opposite. Usually I'm like, it's usually uncomfortable for the artist. Like, that's one thing that I love is confidence in artists, where it's like, it's I know that I haven't heard anything like this before, but I still have the confidence that it may work. And I think that also separates people. Like when you think of just the risk that Missy was taking on her videos and her beats, or Aaliyah, or just any artist, or mainly any artist that ever works with Pharrell. It's like it's always super unorthodox, but but you love it for some reason. Like Drop It Like It's Hot. Like that beat was like so different when it first came out. Or, it's like the Gwen Stefani one, like Bananas. It's like it's very strange, but it works. So it takes a lot of confidence on the artist side,
right?
And a lot of trust to know that it may feel weird now, but like we're on to something.
I mean, it's a testament to like the confidence that the artist has in their craft itself, right?
Right.
Like you as the producer, like making a suggestion that they're not comfortable with, just still be like, oh, this may not be what I'm used to, but I know I can still like kill it.
Right, exactly. But also, we can be wrong. The producer can be wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a two-way street. I have to trust the artist to be a great artist, and the artist has to trust me to be a great producer. You know, so it's just, you know, kind of staying in that lane and, you know, knowing the position and things like that.
Yeah, that's good that you're like challenging them too, because that makes them grow, and also you grow because they're probably saying things to you.
Exactly. Yeah, I think, like just from working with Saba, like I did her first EP and just like a bunch of songs, and then like her most recent EP, and just from working with her for a long time has really forced me to grow as a producer, just because she's like a really phenomenal writer. Like her concepts, and like, you know, like usually when you play a beat, the artist is probably gonna like maybe sing about love, sing about hate, sing about you know, a breakup, which is cool, you know, but like
So typical.
I mean, there's a lot of emotion in those things, which is why it's so easy to write.
Exactly, but like Saba's wrote things that like is just incredible as far as like how many different meanings. Like she's almost writing in like poetry, so it's like she's saying one thing, but it literally can apply to like 7 different things very accurately. So that's kind of forcing me to you know, experiment with different sounds, and even, you know, do studying and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's very important.
Tell us a little bit about 94S Gold.
Yeah, so it's 94's Gold. Yeah,
94's. So that's your birth year, I'm guessing.
Exactly. See? Yeah, so 94's Gold is my production company that I founded. I founded it when I was back in college at the University of the Arts in Philly. And it's pretty much comprised of Maximilian Shelton and Saba Abraha, and we also have like many, like, because it's not a thing where it's like so like in or out situations. Like we have like, you know, like a lot of
it's fluid.
Like a lot of reoccurring affiliates, like Javon Gant. Like any song that you've heard from me, well, most songs that you've heard from me within like the last year has been mixed by him, and you know, just like things like that. Like Miles Wright, he does like a lot of the visuals. Max does a lot of visuals. So 94's Gold's production company, and we really focus on, you know, rendering certain services to artists. Like Saba wants to actually just write sometimes, like just write for another artist and things like that, and you know, just all of those kind of things, and just different ways of expression, and you know, just abiding by a certain standard, you know, is what we're all about.
So you're moving to LA, right?
I am.
Are you taking the whole group with you? Is everyone going?
Well, Max is already there, and I believe Saba may be coming shortly after.
Okay, sweet. I mean, that sounds
So
exciting.
you guys are making like real moves. Like,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because it just makes the most sense, you know, over like the last year or so, that's been like the majority of where work is for us, and you know, all those kind of things.
So have you been like traveling there, like recently?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was there for like the entire month of February, just like finishing up Saba's most recent project, and you know, just doing like a lot of things for that. So yeah, we're super familiar with the area. We're looking forward to the next phase of 94's Gold and continuing to raise the level.
Well, you know, we're excited for you to get over there, and we actually got you a little going away gift.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, did you leave it behind? Sean, you fuck boy.
Here you go, man.
Yeah. The Uncle Pauli. How did you guys know? Jake told you.
Of course.
Jake had to tell you. Yeah, he's the only one that knows. Yeah, Paul Masson is.
Yeah. I mean, if we had done this last night, I was gonna suggest that we all take a shot.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like noon.
It's too early. It's too early. But thank you guys, man. I appreciate that parting gift.
Yeah, of course, man. What do you love so much about this liquor?
I don't know. It's just smooth. Like I just like.
It is a smooth taste.
Yeah, you know, it's just easy. You know, like the peach, like the pineapple, mango, all of this is just good, man. And it's usually pretty cheap. So that's
I was like,
convenient.
I was surprised when I went in. I was like, what the hell? What is this name?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, we got it. And I was like,
Yeah.
$14.
When me and Jake were working on a lot of projects, that would definitely be a reoccurring face in the studio. Yeah.
Do you like, I guess like, or like drink or smoke like when you're doing like creative processes?
Honestly, well, I don't really smoke in general, but I like to be completely sober. Like, just like, because I feel like that's where I want to be mentally when that's going on, because, you know, like, I don't like second guessing, you know, so like, I feel like, you know, if I like it now, but I hear it later, it's like, you know, so
I get that perspective.
just for me, I like to mainly I really like to make music either early in the morning or very late at night.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the two like peak times for me. Because I feel like at both times you've not really been influenced by a lot. Like as soon as you wake up, you're not really thinking about like you know, like,
either it's the first thing in your mind or the last thing in your mind, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Plus, I feel like whenever I'm like going to bed and like just thinking about random stuff, like that's when I have the best ideas.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
Yeah. For me, it's either one of those two. Yeah, and it's usually the morning. Like usually when I wake up, like I'll probably like, cause I don't do it a lot. Like I do it like my creation or like my like creative goes in like phases. So like I can have like a month where like I make like no beats.
Really?
Yeah, and I can have a month where I can have a week where I make like 30. You know, so it's like which I like.
What do you do in the meantime?
Work, because you know nowadays making the beat that's like only a fourth of the job. You
gotta market that.
You gotta market. You gotta actually get people on those beats. You know, you gotta
Sure.
So it goes in spurts, but I'm just glad it always comes back. Now writing definitely goes in spurts for me, but it's longer gaps. Like I could like really write for like maybe like a month or two, but I may not get it for another 6 months. Because I just may not, you know, just be inspired to write anything. You know, it definitely goes by what's going on around me and, you know, real life situations, things like that.
Well, writing's something you can't like force like at all, right?
Yeah.
At least with like beats, like it, like even if you're not feeling a beat, you're still like, this is passable. Like it can work for like someone who like really wants it.
Right.
But like with like songwriting, you'll know like
I can't.
That like I can't put that out there.
I can't.
But like, can't just like starting writing, like even if you force it at first, can't get the creative process flowing, get the juices flowing, and then
for writing, honestly, for me, no. Like for me, like it has to be something that's kind of. Well, I mean, sometimes it'll happen where the beat has inspired me in a certain way, but that's still probably based off of a prior inspiration. You know, so it's like it just it's tough. Like it's tough to be inspired to write certain things, and then just to even remember certain things. You know,
when you're like on the road, you remember something. You get back, you're like, oh, what was I?
Bro, my phone is full of like. Voice notes and like, because usually when I write, it'll kind of be based off of like a phrase. So like, I would like just like the last track, "Good Grief." Like I was like, oh, like I kind of like, you know, the phrase of "Good Grief." So I'll just write that phrase down, and then maybe later I'll like formulate a song around that phrase.
So why didn't you sample any Charlie Brown for that song?
See, that would that would have been good. We may have to do a remix or something like that. Yeah, no, that would have been dope. That would have been dope. I just like strong titles. You know, like a good grief in itself is kind of, you know, like a oxymoron.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, exactly. So, closed hands. Yeah, I just like things like that.
What is that? Is it like this?
It's something like that.
Yeah, keep doing that, Sean. You'll get there someday.
I feel like I'm doing one of those like Naruto things.
So how did these like, I guess, phrases come to your mind? Just basically life experiences, or you're just kind of thinking about it?
Life experiences. Some just come. Maybe I hear it a part of conversation, or you know, like.
You just listening on conversations.
Yeah, or like you know, just like certain phrases that's been passed on for a long time, and you don't even know where it comes from, but you know the phrase itself, it's kind of just inspires you a certain way. Yeah, it comes from different ways. It's just I'm just glad it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that I guess when you're in a certain writing period that you have similar themes in that period?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It does go in themes sometimes. I think that's why. Yeah, the majority. Yeah, both See You Hurt and Closed Hands and Good Grief are about an ending of a relationship. So, yeah, it's not purposeful, but yeah, I guess sometimes it just comes out like that. Yeah.
Does your production process change a lot, whether it's your name going out there on front, on your EP, or whether you're strictly producing for someone else?
I think once again it depends on the artist. Some artists allow complete creative freedom, while some others don't necessarily do it. So for instance, let's say honestly, one of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody says hey, can you make me X type of beat? When you say hey,
it's the whole market,
bro. Hey, can you make me a Drake type beat, or can you make me
I'll make you a me type beat.
yeah, that is always one of my biggest pet peeves.
It's one of those unfortunate things. If you're branding, you kind of have to go with it, but it's
yeah. So if that's the situation, that would be totally different than if it's a situation with this project, or when I work with Sydney, or when I work with Saba. It's usually I just really sit down and just make it making it front, and just kind of feed off of the energy in the room, and okay, is it just certain sounds just bring out certain energies, and just certain just feeding off of, so just kind of making something that's tailor made to you right now in this moment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one of the best sessions, right? Feeding off each other's energy.
Oh, for sure.
Because then you'll have the most authentic sounding song in the end.
Yeah, exactly. I hate emailing beats. 'Cause it's just
it's all part of that marketing process.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's
a cold industry.
It's a necessary evil, but yeah, that's usually how it goes. For this project, every song, I actually sat in the studio with him and played it for him, and kind of gave the backstory / inspiration for it and all that kind of stuff.
So are you planning on have you performed yet, featuring your own stuff? And
No.
do you ever want to do that? Or you want to be a background cover?
Yeah, if the situation was right, but yeah, like I said, mainly it was just for pure creation process, and to hopefully inspire people to do the same. To inspire people to you can create your own stuff without having to need permission, or somebody telling you how you're supposed to do it, or all that kind of stuff.
You see yourself as an orchestrator.
Yeah. If it made sense for me to do it up front, then I would do it. But it's definitely not a primary focus.
I think we're seeing a lot more of that nowadays too.
Yeah.
Especially with how rap is going and how producer heavy it is now.
Yeah, right.
That
the producers are the stars.
Yeah, and they feel a lot more comfortable putting their name on the front.
Right. Yeah, it's a good time. Because producers, were always a superstar. It's just, I guess, maybe more common. But, when you look at Quincy Jones's life, he was a legend before he even met Michael Jackson. So and then having his name on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and so stuff like that. Or think about all the videos you've seen Pharrell in. It's
he's usually just dance in the background.
Yeah. So it's we've had, or Timbaland, we've had definitely superstar producers, but yeah, I think it is becoming more common, which is great, which is cool, because for a long time, we just gave the music away, and that was it, and so it's important to see that people are now, seeing the people behind the music and things like that.
Yeah, you kind of give away a little bit of the power too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So We got some stuff to do later today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okechi's got to help his parents move because he's a great son.
I mean,
That's
you got to
awesome.
be a great son,
You
you know,
gotta be a
because
great
they kind of, you know, brought me into the world.
But
It's a painful process.
thank you so much for coming.
For sure.
Let's give some shout outs. Where do
Yeah.
people find your music?
Yeah, Dejour Thomas, DE_JOURTHOMAS. That's official Dejour on Twitter, Instagram, 94's Gold on Facebook. Go stream Oath. Go stream Sweet Mirage by Saba Abraha. It's Alex Vaughn. It's a lot of music. Yeah, just let's just stay up to date.
Check out his music, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Do
Go
it.
check them out.
What are you doing right now? Why are you still watching this?
Check it out.
Come
Yeah,
on.
for sure. Thank you guys for having me, man. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
it's always a
I
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Oh, and Teddy, also, what should they do?
Smash that like button.
Not too loud now.
Thank you.
That was too loud.
See you guys.
I don't know where the days have gone. I've lost hope in this race I've run. I've had my share of happy days. I've seen many signs. Lately the raining bears my favorable end, so I can't take any chances. Getting nothing got my hands closed. Don't stay that way. Can't worry about tomorrow. Oh, yesterday. I've got close hands, close hands, close hands. I can't be left alone with my thoughts.